And I believe we can begin now. Thank you all. Happy to be here with you today. Thanks for attending. We're going to take about the next 20 to 25 minutes or so and just take you through our new product, COBRA Mobile Enterprise. Just a brief little rundown on what the Mobile Enterprise does and what we'll be demonstrating is that it does replace paper forms. So if you guys are using paper to write down your job tickets and filling out your materials and labor and your tech notes and all those things, this is a new way of doing things now. I think one of the best things is that you're going to be able to capture everything now on any mobile device out there. In the past, we only could work with iPads. Now we've developed a much stronger technology. So whatever the device you guys have, a laptop, a Samsung, iPad, tablets, whatever, it runs on anything now. It's really great. And of course, the communication is fantastic because it just transmits right back to your office for processing with one click. Very, very simple to use. Eliminates a lot of the manual data entry that you're currently doing in the office. And we're hearing reports as high as cutting the field and administrative costs by up to 85%. And again, we talked about it's compatible with any smart device, laptop. The field techs are loving this new technology just because of the simplicity. We have these new drop-down and they're pre-filled with your data. So it really makes it easy for the field techs to finalize and submit their work directly from their job site right back to the office. So pretty easy on that sense. Okay, well, we'll come back to this in a bit. I'm going to just minimize this. And before we look at the inbox on the program itself, I want to just show you how we send one out from COBRA. Okay, most of you know how to find a customer and set up a job, so I'm not going to go through that process. I just did one. And here's the job right here. It's for a customer, Bob Lindy. He's over on 24th Street in Minneapolis. Okay, so the job's been set up. The description, he called, there's fixtures and switches are causing problems. They want to get somebody out there. So I am in what we call our job center screen. I simply, to send one out, I go to the work order. I just click the work order, because this is a combination of a work order and the material list all in one when I send it. So here's the work order itself. It's got Mr. Lindy's phone numbers, that all came in from the customer screen. I've even got some history here. I don't know how many of you are using the COBRA history program, but you can also have history on this mobile field sheet now. So we've got it all set up. All I do is click the FS button here for go to Field Sheet Center. Boom. And now I can select from a list of mobile field sheets. Maybe I just have one, or I can have more than one. And they're customized according to what you guys want. I have one called residential here. I'm just going to select that. And I could load it and see all the parts on here, but we're going to see that on the iPad that I'm using. And all I do is just click this little guy here, mobile field sheet, and boom, it's done. So now it's on the way out to me on my iPad. And so with that said, that's how you send one out. Very simple. Okay. And what I'm going to do now, when we send it back in, it's all the information is going to come right back into Job Center here, and we'll take a look at that in a few minutes. But let's do this now. Let's switch. Let's see. I need to minimize the.
Yeah. Can you move that?
Yeah. Okay. There we go. We'll minimize that. Okay. So here's what it looks like when it comes in on my inbox on my screen right here. And I've got a number of them that have come in, and this is what the user, the field tech, will see, just like email, just like how you use it. It's very simple. Now, before I actually start working on it, we have a new feature called Mobile Job Center. And I really like this new feature. I'm just going to touch it on the right side of the screen here and bring up my Mobile Job Center. This is just for me and my jobs that the office has sent out to me. And I can see there's my name, and then I can take a look at the different jobs that I've got to work on right here. And you can see I've got a number of them here that have come out from the office and sent to me. Okay. And there's it's a lot of fun things. I have these little sort buttons on the top here. If I just touch job number, it'll sort by the, A to Z, the highest to the lowest. Maybe I just want to look at the dates, and I have that sort scheduled date. Maybe I want to look at the oldest ones first. Oh, I've got one back on 10/13. I must not have finished that one up. Okay, well, maybe I am done with that one. If I touch the done button, then it highlights it in green, and I can remove it if I want to. So you have nice controls, each field tech, on what they want to do. I'm going to leave it on right now, though, back in my work status. I can also sort by the customer list, so if I want to just look at my jobs by customer, I can do that as well. Okay, so let's look at that Bob Lindy job. I'm just going to touch it. Now what the system's going to do is actually bring up that mobile field sheet for Mr. Lindy of the job that I'm going to do for him. And here's what I was talking about earlier, these drop downs that are so easy to look at. If I want to look at the job and customer info, I just touch it with my finger and it opens it up. Just kind of gives me a little rundown on what's happening with this job. And if I touch it again, it'll collapse that and bring me back to my main menu. Now the job notes, that gets into a little bit more detail about this job. I see it's a time and material job. There's Mr. Lindy says the fixtures and switches are causing problems. There's some phone numbers I can call him at. There's his address. And there's those history notes we talked about originally when I sent this out. You can see that they come out as well. And I can't say enough about history notes, but if you have clients that you call on more than once, just having some of these history notes in here, it's so valuable, because not only does it impress your customers, but it also eliminates the field tech from having to, maybe call back to the office wondering about, gee, did we install this part, and can you look up this part, and all those calls that typically take place from field techs back into the office. A lot of that gets eliminated when you take advantage of having the history also show up here. So we encourage you, and we can help you with that. If you don't use the history, you want to get into it, we have webinars on that, and we can help you. Okay, so that's the job now. So let's talk about the tech time. We have multiple ways of doing this. I'm going to keep it pretty straightforward for today's webinar. I touch the tech time, and that opens up this section of the mobile field sheet. All right, so now what I want to do is click select, and then I can select from my workers anybody I want. I'm going to go with myself, Chuck Cameron here, and I'm going to add my time to this job, and there it is. So it's got the date and how many hours did I work. Okay, well, I worked 3.5 on this job, so I'll just touch the 3.5 and I'm done. So what that did is that totaled that up for me. If I want pricing on this, it will do the pricing for both the materials and labor. You don't have to have the pricing on here, but I've got it showing here for today. I could remove this. Maybe I made a mistake. I could just touch right back in here. Maybe I make it 4.0, just a 4, like that. Very simple. Okay. So I can continue adding entries. If I wanted to add myself again or somebody else, you can just continually add as many as you want. Very simple. Okay, so that's tech time. Now some fun things as well. The tech notes. This is a really great feature because a lot of times we hear, especially in the office, when the paperwork gets turned in, sometimes you have a hard time reading the guy's handwriting. It's kind of sloppy. A lot of times they don't always give the best descriptions of the work that they performed, but because they're not big on handwriting. Well, we think that this tech notes area is kind of a real breakthrough for that, and I'm going to just demonstrate this by using the microphone that's on my device. Instead of handwriting all my notes, let me show you this. I touch the tech notes, and I'm going to touch the microphone. Replaced open splices in basement for ceiling lights, period. Checked out foyer light switches, period. Checked out dining room light and switches, period. Checked out living room receptacles and switches, period. Fixed all connections, period. Tightened all connections in main electrical panel, period. Job completed, period. All right, so that's what we see as the future for you here. Getting your tech notes in by voice. You can type them in as well, if you guys are good typists, but I don't know. For me, it's a lot simpler just to speak. You get a much more detailed description and so forth. All right, so that's the next thing about the tech notes. Now let's move on and look at the material list. Now again, I sent out a residential field sheet, and again, I customized that. We didn't show you how to customize it, but that's something we can do if you want to take a demonstration, and we can get into that with you at a later date. But let's touch the material list and see what that's all about. Okay, so here we go. I've got my little price book here broken out by my recall names from the price book. And this is probably looking kind of familiar to all of you that use the COBRA price book, because we're trying to emulate that for the field techs in the field. So let's have some fun with it. Okay, I'm going to start out. I'm just going to touch plates. When I touch plates, I get my nylon bland plate. I'm going to just select that as an example. All right. When I do that, it turns green, telling me, oh, you selected that one. So if you get distracted and you weren't sure, you've got it. But there it is right up there as 1. Now, if I want to change the quantity, it's very simple. Just touch the 3 and it automatically calcs out the price if I want prices to show. Okay, very good. So that's the first one. I can collapse the plate section. Now maybe I want to go to plastic boxes. Touch that one. Now you can see we get a few of the more plastic boxes showing up here. All right, so I'm going to go with a 1 gang nylon bland plate. I can do that. And you can see I'm kind of scrolling through a lot of this stuff right here. And I want to do one of these nailer boxes, a 1 gang. I'll just touch this one. Okay. And then you can see that it comes right up here as well. And we'll do 3 of those. Now this is just one way of doing it. Okay. Now I'm going to touch, if I go down and I look at my wire, we're going to start showing you some more interesting ways to search this thing out. If I touch wire, you can see, again, we've got just a long list of wire. Perhaps I don't want to scroll through as much as I've been doing in this demonstration. So that's why we've got the search technique here. If I just touch the search button, and then for wire, maybe I just say connector. Just by doing that, the system finds any recall name with the word connector in it. Well, I just want the wire portion, and there it is. I want that wire connector 3M Scotch green. Okay, so instead of going back up and put the quantity in now, I'm just going to clear the search screen and do another one. Okay, I've got the wire. I'll come back and put the quantity in later. This time, I'm going to say the word handy. Boom, right away, it found wire and it found a handy strap in my database for me. It's the only one I've got with handy, so I'm just going to select it. And now it's on the job as well. I'll come back and fill in the quantity later. Next, I'll do another search this way. NM. Didn't happen. Oh, I didn't touch the microphone. I'll touch the microphone. NM. Boom. Look through the database, found a couple of NMs. I need the 12 too. Grab that. There we go. Okay, so I used 12 of those. So let's fill in the quantities on the NM. I got 12. Okay, go up here to the handy. I did 10 of those. Bada boom, bada bing. And on the wire connectors, okay. I think about 28 of those guys. Done deal. Here's my material all filled out. Pretty slick, not bad. Okay, lots of fun ways to search this database and use your recall names to get the material on board. All right, I collapsed the list. Moving on down. You want to look at the legal notice? You've got that on hand. A lot of people, you know, you've got to have that on your invoice. If you're going to email it to them right here on the job site, or even if it comes back into COBRA, you know, you want to have that legal notice there. Okay. Little check boxes. This is kind of neat. We're continuing to take requests and ideas from you on the check boxes, but essentially, this is a nice communication with the office, so you don't have to call them from the job site and tell them that the job's completed, or maybe it's follow up, or send the invoice. I didn't email them one, or they got a check, you know, that kind of stuff. All these little check boxes are kind of nice. I'm going to say completed, and you know, we can email to the customer right here if we want to, and send it right out. Maybe I need to order materials, you know, put that check mark in as well, and then I can have items on this sheet that I'm going to send back in for ordering purposes as well. Okay, so with that being said, there's my total. I've got the material total, label total, the sales tax automated for me, and a job total, all finished. Very nice. Okay, now last thing, maybe I want to take some pictures. You know, a lot of reasons to take pictures, before and after pictures. You know, if you've gone out there in the beginning, very simple. You just touch add photos right there. Please add a photo. You can have as many photos as you want too. So, you know, let's just take a photo here, and I'll take one of my trips I was on recently over in faraway land. Okay, very good. We'll use this photo, and there it is. It's all set to go. Okay, we can continue adding as many photos as we need to. Otherwise, I'll collapse the add photos feature, and we're all good. I can clear everything if I didn't like what I did, or just touch submit, and that's all I have to do. And you'll see in a second, as this thing gets processed, you will get a little message that says your data was submitted. Boom. I am finished with this job. Very good. So I can go back to my inbox now, and I can take a look at other jobs that I may have. And you can also see the one that I had originally sent out from the office is right here as well. It just came in back, well, let's see, about 10 minutes ago as I started talking. So it only took a couple of minutes to actually reach me. That's kind of interesting as well. Okay, so let's have a look now. We'll minimize this. And we're going to go back into COBRA, and we're going to take a look now at what the people in the office do. They use this new feature called Import Field Sheets. They click it, and there it is right there. And I'm going to grab this one. This is job 180215 that came in. And there's my work. Oh, I didn't show you the one feature where you could add items on the fly, and I did that originally. And that's a really nice feature. Sorry, I forgot to show that just now. But you can also, don't have to always use the database. The add items on the fly feature is really for situations where, you know, the field tech has to make a run to the hardware store, maybe a Home Depot, to pick up a few things that perhaps you'd never had in your COBRA database to begin with, and you just want to get them on the job. Well, that's what I did with the bulbs. I added that right on the job, and I charged it out at $5 for the box of bulbs. Okay, so looking at this import screen now, from the top, the T right there, that means what type of item was it? Well, the first one shows as an L for labor. If we look way over to the right, I can see Chuck Cameron, and there's my 3.5 hours that I sent in. And then underneath it are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 material items that I filled out on the field sheet. Okay, so we have all these different imports. It just, you know, if you want the hours to go to the COBRA payroll, you can use the little right arrow down here, this portion, to post them right to the payroll. You know, there's other ones too, post to material estimates, post to the purchase order system, but let's do the main one that everybody uses, and that's over here. It's called post to job. And before I do that, one last thing that so many of our office people love, it's called view log. Let's click there once. This was a great idea one of our customers asked for. And it was a lady up in Washington, Chris Engelman of Engelman Electric. She said, you know, I've always had trouble trying to get the guys to send the paperwork back in a timely manner. And I've always, you know, it was so hard to keep track of everything. Can you design something and integrate it in with COBRA so when we send these out, we know that which guy got them, and then we also know if they sent them back to me. And this is the perfect example right here, because this is what she can see now. All the ones got sent out to Chuck Cameron, you know, over the last, you know, 3 weeks. But look at all the holes, the date received column. There's a bunch that never came back in. Chuck just didn't do a very good job in getting them all back in. So rather than guess, did he lose the paperwork or blah, blah, blah? No, you just simply highlight the ones that he didn't send in. Very simple, blah, 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 you know, and so forth. And then you click this little button down on the bottom here called Email Technicians. And it's not just for Chuck, it'll do all of your technicians here that have not sent their ones back in. And it will send a friendly little notice to your field techs saying, you know, guys, we didn't receive your paperwork, so unfortunately, you're not going to get a paycheck this week. No, just kidding a little on that one, but you get the idea. She absolutely loves this, as she finally has control over her jobs and her paperwork and her field techs. So nice little feature here, Chris. Thanks very much for the idea. Okay, lastly, we're just going to post this to the job. I'm going to click here, and boom. Now, it's posted to the job because we see the little green banner showing right here. And that's a visual for people in the office because we know how busy you are. We know the phone's ringing, people are pestering you. You're doing your job. Hey, did I actually post that? Yes, you did, because it's right there with the green. And we also mark it. We say, hey, pictures were saved with this form. You may want to check out your document center and look at all the pictures that the field tech took. And you can also see the notes that I talked in, replaced open splices in the basement for ceiling lights and so forth. Okay, we're going to exit this little import window screen here for right now, and we're going to take a look at what just came from the field. You can see the material costs and charges are all in here for me. My labor costs and charges, my total costs and charges. If I want to, we get asked this all the time, hey, can I make changes before we do the billing? Of course. You just don't have to do all the work that you've been doing and putting all this together anymore. You can come in here and make a change, add stuff. There's your price book, you know, add stuff to the job, whatever you want to do. You still have full control. They're cutting 80% of the time of doing all this double manual entry that, you know, the guys fill it all once and then you got to fill it out again in the office. That's done. Those days are gone. It's all done for you here. You make the decision if you're ready to roll. Hopefully you're all using this profit preview up here, especially on the T&M jobs, because this is so great. You know, a lot of times the admin people will print these out for the boss and let the boss take a look at the actual costs, extended costs, unit price, the markups, the margins you're making on each individual item, and so forth, and then a total at the bottom. Looks like this job cost us $195.21. We're charging it out at $342.97. There's been no adjustments made. We're making $147.76 on this job that we did for Mr. Lindy. If that's good to go, fabulous. Let's look at the job notes that came in. Look at all of that. How nice is that? And this comes over here as well. Now, what a lot of times on your bigger projects, what companies are doing is they're using those job notes on a daily basis because we post them up chronologically for you. So if I was sending something tomorrow, it would come in right here in the job notes area, and it would say 2/9 and then more notes. And what a great way to stay on top of the projects as you see people's notes for this job continually dropping in here as well. So wonderful there. Document center, we should see, yeah, okay, we've got some pictures here. Well, we'll take a look, see how I did on my pictures, if I can view that for a second. Now I am working through the cloud and a couple of other things, so it might take a second or two to bring up this picture here. Let's see, okay. Don't have the, yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, that was one I did earlier this morning. Pardon me on that one, it's a little bit foggy, but anyway, you get the idea. The pictures will appear attached to your job for you as well. Okay, very good. We'll close out of that. Yeah, as well as you have a full copy of the actual finished form here as well for each one of those. And we can take a quick view of that as well for you. And this is the actual form that was filled out. And so if you did get the customer signature, you'd have all of that. And that's really good from a legal standpoint. You know, we encourage you to get signatures from the customers as well on any of the work that you are doing. Okay. So really, when we look at this whole process right through, you've got the whole integration happening, and of course you're ready to go and do your billing, unless you wanted to bill it on site, and we can talk to you about that as well. You know, there's so many ways to use this product, and that's what we really like to do, is visit with you for an online demonstration, get to know exactly how you guys are doing things, what kind of jobs, what do we have to do to get your field sheets built using the price book. So it's a bit of a process to work with you, a couple of hours online. That's all part of our service to you. And then what you can do from that point, once we get it ready to go, what we can do next is We'll bring up the next steps for you right here, which are right here. So we're going to give you a call back, the ones that are attending today, because we want your comments. They're very important because it helps us get better with our development. So we really want to hear back your feedback. And then if you want, we will set up a personalized demonstration online. And that's a great way for us to talk to each other, answer your questions. We'll demonstrate the system and we'll get your feedback. A lot of people say, well, what's the price? Well, it's very fair. It's based on the number of transactions. And what we mean by that is a transaction is when you send out one of those mobile field sheets, and then when you send one back into the office. And that counts as 2 transactions. And so you're only paying for the amount that you use. We can't think of a fairer price. You know, it's just the whole idea is the more you do it, the more you use it, the more money you save. And we'll go over that in our demonstration and get you a price, okay? And then if you decide to go forward, because you are a COBRA customer, you're going to get a free 30-day trial, and we'll get it set up on your devices for you and install the mobile enterprise, and then work with you over the free 30-day trial period to make sure everything is working perfectly. And at the end of the 30 days, you can make the decision if you want to keep using it. And then if so, we will set up a 90-day billing cycle with you. And it's very simple. So with all that being said, I think if you want to have any quick questions answered, you've got Cindy's email address at cindy@cobra-usa.com, and you've got my email address at jim@cobra-usa.com. And so go ahead now and start, if you want to start emailing us any questions, and then we can take a look and answer them for you. Otherwise, like I said before, we're going to be giving Bob Keller, who maybe some of you have spoken with. Bob works with us. We'll be calling you back, as well as I will, to get your feedback, because we're very interested in hearing what you thought about all of this. And I think for right now, that probably concludes what we've got going on for today. So please email us, and we'll talk to you real soon. And oh, we also have recorded this, so if you want a recording to share with other people in the office, please ask for one, and we'll send you the recording as well. Okay, well, y'all have a great day, and we'll talk to you real soon. Thank you so much.